And we're live. Welcome to Weekly Wrestling Heat. We are back with another episode. Money in the Bank has finished, concluded. Man, it was Angel. You're our resident AEW guy,
I'm a
so
wrestling guy who happens to
AEW.
not really enjoy too much WWE.
But anyways, um, he is our one of our favorite commenters or analysts here. But what was your overall thoughts on the show?
So overall, I mean, we watched it together. We kind of, had a little bit of distractions on the side, but overall, it was a good show. I liked a lot of it. Some of it I felt had a little bit of pacing issues, which is probably just going to be getting used to this new crowd. Main event, obviously, we had a big thing happen, so that's going to be the headline news tomorrow or tonight. And overall, though, a lot of good stuff happened. A lot of positive looking things. Let's just see
Yes.
where they take it from here.
Overall weekend for WWE in back with the live crowds has been pretty good. Raw it emanates from Dallas, Texas tomorrow, so I think the crowds have delivered. And gosh, please don't let us go back to the Thunderdome area anymore. I really enjoyed this. Houston was lit on Friday. I watched it
Did you
live.
go? Oh, you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it live. I didn't get a chance to go. I was actually looking. Funny thing, I was actually looking for tickets, and 2 days before, and I couldn't find any. It was that sold out that there's no actual tickets available for that
They
show.
they
Um,
did they because I was doing the same. They did open up a couple other sections the day of, but it was like $150 for top seats. Man, I was like, I don't think it's worth it. I'll watch it on TV for free.
yeah, and I was looking for, the funny thing about it is that I was looking for tickets like a week before, and they were like low to they were low, but they were also kind of expensive at the same time.
Yeah.
So for a 400 seat here in Houston, it's like usually you get the ticket for like $45. It was about 80-90 bucks. So I tried looking in the aftermarket, and it was still like pretty expensive. So
Mm.
at the end of it, I enjoyed Friday Night SmackDown. Still felt like a regular SmackDown with the exception of a couple of things. Just here in the live crowd, I think that they thought they did a good job at actually doing the first match, which was the Mysterios and Edge versus the Bloodline. Um, but but I can't say anything negative right now. The only thing I would say that might be negative was the tempo on the main event, which felt kind of dead a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I have no complaints. I thought the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the Charlotte versus Rhea was actually,
Match
I
of the
think,
night for me.
match of the night for me. I thought that was one of the best matches. And what's funny about that is that they actually overcame the crowd, because the crowd was mad crazy asking for Becky Lynch. Funny moment in the match where Charlotte flicked off the crowd
Flipped off
and
the
the
crowd.
screen went blank for us people that were watching it.
She thought
But
she thought she was on her husband or her husband's show for a second there. Uh, Made a little bit of an error. That's all right. She'll be fine. She's Charlotte.
no, but I mean overall, I thought the match was great, great tempo. I thought that both women were able to get the crowd into the match, and that's something that WWE knows how to do pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and I kept mentioning it. It's that I felt that WWE was holding back on the crowd until the crowds came back, so they could do stuff like what they did today. Um, what was your thoughts on the women's match? I guess that's the best one to ask on the women's
Uh
Money in the Bank.
oh, the Money in the Bank and the women's. Again. I can't lie because you actually got to hear my thoughts live. So I think overall it was a lot of good stuff happened during it. Obviously, the ending, for those of you who may not have seen it, essentially boiled down to all of the women joined up, covered Alexa with all the ladders. Some fighting happened. They got in the ring. 3 ladders got put up. Or excuse me, 6 of the women got up there, started fighting each other, and Nikki Ash climbs in, and I hate this. It was behind Liv Morgan, so she's the one obviously that gets looked over. But she climbs up
Yeah.
behind her, grabs the briefcase, and wins it. Interesting choice, I think, because I don't see her beating Bianca. I don't see her taking it from Charlotte. So I hope it's not going to be another Otis situation where it's there's this fun whoop-de-doo character. Crap, now what do we do? I hope that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think in this one, I think this might be the actual first time because you got to think about it. All the Money in the Bank cash-ins for the women have been successful
Yeah.
for the most part. So I think this might be. I don't want to say that. I want to say that something's going to happen, and she might actually hold off till later on and get that build. But this might be one of those things where she might actually have a failed cash in on
Mm-hmm.
Money in the Bank. So there's no telling. I mean, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Really, really enjoyed the match. It was for what it was. It was good. It was decent. It wasn't like top notch like match of the night cat like cat. Yeah,
We,
go
we
ahead.
we do have to say, obviously, there's a lot of new reactions we're getting now because it's all crowd controlled. Um,
Yeah,
Alexa Bliss probably was getting cheered the most out of all the women in the match. What do you think about that?
I really was actually surprised. I thought that I thought that with the character she had, she wasn't gonna get that. But hey, I think that the crowd's behind her. I think that the crowd likes her. So to me, more if it's good for her, work it. Like keep
Mm-hmm.
evolving her character. I would love to see less of the tactics of like that, the like how how when they got on top of the ladder with Selena, it made her come down with
Yeah.
that. So it was if it stuff like that, if a little bit less of that, I think it would be good. But other than that, I the crowd pops for people were really telling of everything going on. So it's like
Yeah.
it shows a lot about how WWE listens to its people and it's actually working for what they're doing. So, like I said, it's a long road ahead for WWE because they kind of set themselves back in a sense, being that they really kind of screwed the pooch during the Thunderdome era. Specifically Raw because SmackDown and NXT have been delivering. So Raw is going to be interesting to see. And exact tomorrow is going to be real interesting to see if they're going to do something different or if they're going to pull the same stuff they've been pulling
Mm-hmm.
from there. So um, let's see.
Just go
What
through the
was your
card from there, really, if you want.
the Kofi versus Bobby Lashley? I that was brutal.
We we
I,
both had the same reaction, like, oh well, all right, Kofi, go back where you belong, is what it felt like. Where
it just God. So I'm a big Kofi fan. I'm a big fan of Kofi. I'm a big fan of what he's done. Um, but here's the thing about the situation. It's like Bobby needed to win more to build up for him because he was kind of losing momentum, in my opinion. So it's like the way that the match went was kind of a dominating, kind of like a Brock Lesnar style match where Brock Lesnar, it
total
takes me reminded
domination.
me of yeah, like it reminded me of the Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton or the Brock Lesnar versus John Cena match that happened a couple of years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
it was one of those that it kind of like it was hard to watch at the end because God,
I just felt
oh,
bad. I mean, I don't think Kofi maybe got a couple hits in that I can recall, and not even that.
just the
Um,
beginning of the match, and then after that, it was just
yeah,
straight Bobby.
domination, and a lot of it we think we speculated while we were watching, which I feel bad for speculating this, but they're making him look strong because supposedly the reports are someone's coming tomorrow, Goldberg, and they just need Bobby to look super strong because he's going to be fighting Goldberg. I
I
think that's
don't want that to
backwards
happen.
thinking. And, we can say that though. And then at the same time, with what happened at the end of the show, they're not building anyone up. So you have to do something like Goldberg to get some reaction.
I would rather love seeing Brock Lesnar come back over Goldberg. Like, I really want to see if if they're gonna do anything. I would rather um WWE pull the Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania. Uh oh.
I'm sorry, we're getting live reports, guys, because we have someone that's there. Did you read his messages?
No, I haven't.
He jumped up. Someone behind him also jumped, knocked his phone 3 rows forward, and he dropped his phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, our co-host, this was actually at Money in the Bank. Moise was at Money in the Bank today, so the funny situation happened for him.
Uh,
Um,
we can share this when we get to it, but he did post something that Cena said at the end. So, yeah.
All right.
I guess the tag match. Any thoughts, really? AJ almost and
I thought that it was good for what it was. I would have wished to see more from Omos. I think everybody still wants to see more from Omos, so it gets to that point where you're just like, okay, who are you gonna get to who are you going to get to actually beat AJ and Omos at the end?
I think there's nothing he can do. They're covering him up too much for him to be able to do anything else. AJ basically fought this as a handicap match, and there was a couple tags. Almost did something, and then tagged AJ right back in, who still looks tired, by the way, which is a terrible team decision. I pointed out this is by far worst match of the night for me.
I thought it was just one of those.
On it.
I thought it wasn't the best match. It was just a men match, so it's like I thought that the pace was Viking Raiders look good. I'm not gonna lie. For what they did, they look good. The tag team and I really thought they were gonna finish the match, and I thought we were gonna have new champions when they did their finish on AJ.
Yeah. And then Eric went and tried to stop Omos,
and it.
I'm sorry, and I pointed this out to you during the match, but Omos never once tried to stop a pin. So why would Eric go try to stop him from stopping the pin? Omos never entered the ring to even try, and he was on a count of 2, and Omos was just barely getting up to the ring. There's not really a reason for him to do it. Obviously I get what it was for. It just the story during the match never presented that as a problem. So it probably could have been done better, but it was the end that it was. And then obviously you have what is I don't know, whatever he calls it, held him from his head, did the power bomb 1 2 3.
The power bomb thing that they do.
And it was a match. It happened. The reason it was the opener.
Men's Money in the Bank. God, I enjoyed that match thoroughly. I thought that every spot on there meant a thing. That the big moments that they had meant something. Which is something different that we haven't seen in a while from. We really haven't seen this from WWE. Even last year's Money in the Bank match wasn't like, wasn't as good. But given that last year's was the Thunderdome era, so and then the one before, the year before, was still kind of like
that was my favorite one.
So
that was the one before was the pre-read tape inside of the was it? Yeah.
Last year's was the one that was inside the WWE headquarters.
Yeah, okay. That was fantastic.
That's the one where
Ray fell onto a smaller roof underneath the tall roof and stayed alive after all of that.
Big spots in the.
There was a lot of good spots. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the big spots was Ricochet doing the moonsault when he was getting pushed off the ladder.
The timing needed for that off the ladder basically goes into a springboard position for all intents and purposes.
Yeah,
and just goes just knocks everyone out that's outside. Um, you could call it a spot. You could also call it just super entertaining. I don't care how prepared you have to be for that. Gets back in and is able to stop whoever with Morrison, I think it was from going up or no Riddle. It was Riddle. Sorry, because
Riddle.
Remember, Riddle had that
really
cool
Riddle
look to him.
Another spot was the one the power bomb that Seth did on KO. I hope he's okay because he landed pretty bad.
Yeah,
that was pretty nasty in a sense.
Early on in the match, KO looks like he hurt his leg pretty bad. I do wonder what we're gonna hear more about that because it looks like they're selling, and KO's probably one of the best that can do that. But he did look like his knee was a little hurt. Throughout, because there was people watching him the whole time. He didn't really interfere at any point. Didn't do anything else. Any of those spots that were on the outside with Drew did a dive, Ricochet did a dive, Morrison did some stuff. KO wasn't involved in any of that until the ending.
I thought Morrison was one of the MVPs of this match though, because the
tagging
everything
teaming with Seth.
And then doing his parkour stuff. I thought that made him different from everybody else. So him, Ricochet, of course the big thing that happened with Drew McIntyre was
the double claymores, or where he did the dive.
Double claymores, no, the dive, but then also when the interference with Jinder Mahal and his guys, they took him out the match. So they took him off the equation for this match. So
yes, I thought that I can't remember specifically which. I had to have been the dive outside. But yeah, he ended up getting back in the ring, set it up. He was 100% winning. And I guess the new Bollywood Boys, the new version of whatever they're calling themselves right now.
Share or something like that. I forgot that. I forgot what they call them now. So it's like it
yeah.
So, but yeah, that
again,
was one
not,
of the
not a great follower of the product. But yeah, especially Raw. Oh, can't do that. But yeah, they came in, basically Drew got taken out of the match 100%, and that's kind of what set up the ending. I liked a lot of stuff that Riddle did as well. I think I definitely feel the worst of this match for Ricochet, because just the crowd popped for everything he was doing. And he's just not there, unfortunately, on their radar. But obviously now we can talk about...
I thought it was good. I thought he's gotten more chances now. Him and Morrison have done great. Have great chemistry. They've had a couple of great matches these past couple of weeks, so I think it's pretty cool. And
then, but yeah, we could talk now about. We haven't even mentioned his name. The actual winner is Big E.
Big E.
Very cool, big ending from the top of the ladder to Seth, who was really close to grabbing the briefcase, and a big ending. Climbed up there, grabbed it down, and big pop. Everyone loves it. Everyone's happy for Big E.
Do you think that do you think that this was a... Well, I agree with the Big E decision. I like the fact that they have Big E there. Who do you think he'll challenge? Because it could be, because here's the thing. Bobby Lashley has taken out his two comrades from the New Day. Could it be that instead of actually getting Goldberg, is there a possibility of seeing Big E cash in his Money in the Bank contract instead of actually doing just doing the cash in? Will he actually cash it in for a match at SummerSlam?
I could see Big E. There's thoughts in my head, and there's what probably will happen. All right, so thoughts in my head if I'm booking it. We still get... I'm sure they're going to do the Goldberg thing, right? Just everything points to that. So in my head, I'm fine with Goldberg, Bobby Lashley. Big E can cash in after that, because you're going to have Lashley probably tired, quote unquote, from some stuff that he did with Goldberg. That's a fun match. If Big E wins, right, he's now defended his guys through the New Day. because he could show up there on Raw and you can have little teases with his New Day buddies saying, "Yeah, I might come over here. Let me just go see what's on SmackDown now," and he could just keep switching.
Yeah,
And then SummerSlam, the big thing is Lesnar comes back, and now he can get his match with Bobby Lashley at Mania or something, because that's something that Bobby has always wanted. And I think from what I guess is Lesnar wants that too.
yeah,
And that could be a big moment that you don't need the belt for that.
yeah. You
So
get
can have
set up for
Biggie-
1-on-1.
Yeah, you can have Biggie win it after that match. I think definitely he should go over there with his buddies in the New Day, though. In the New Day. I don't want him to stay on SmackDown. What's probably going to happen is, who knows? He'll stay on SmackDown.
I don't know.
Cash it in for after Cena wins it or something. I don't know.
I don't think Cena's gonna win this one though.
Yeah, I mean, or loses, whatever, right? But did you want him to cash it on Roman? That sounds anticlimactic way for Roman to lose it. I guess Roman could win.
Yeah,
but yeah, I prefer the Raw storyline. Makes more sense.
I would see you would think that, but like we said, WWE logic has kind of had us worried for the past year. So it's like you're kind of waiting to see if it's something's going to happen out afterwards, but there's no telling. I mean, with everything going on,
if he goes there, cashes it in, wins it, that forces Vince to think, I don't want him with the New Day. Get him away. And just like how he did with Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business, that should have never been split up. Too cool.
I mean, the New Day should have never been split up from the get go, neither. So it's kind of like, it's kind of one of those, like, I get why he did the Hurt Business because he kind of wanted to build Bobby as a single star and having him like do legit matches, you know.
Are you kidding me? Kenny is the biggest single star of the world. He's got the Bullet Club behind him 24/7. You don't need to split people for them to be over as singles people. You got Roman.
I know, but like I said, WWE logic.
You got WWE Roman with logic. His cousins. Same thing. Roman probably got some of the biggest reactions as the winner. He got the biggest reactions of the night. So,
I'm getting frustrated here because while we're doing this, I'm watching the Mexico versus El Salvador game, and about half of our team, we're winning still, but half of our team already has a freaking yellow card.
Good. That'll teach them. That's right.
Our team, Mexico's team.
Yeah, good. I hope they all don't get to play the next round and they lose to whoever they play. So then the USA has an easy coast. These 23-year-old USA team, the youngest team in the Gold Cup tournament, by the way, just an easy gold win. Just wins. Just the greatest country. Oh, greatest soccer country in this side of the hemisphere. Oh, well, sorry. In CONCACAF. There's Brazil and Argentina here, so.
And Mexico. I mean. Oh man, this is funny. Anyways, back to wrestling.
All that's left really is the
the
match itself.
Pre-show. Actually, the pre-show match. I know you probably didn't watch it. I don't think you watched it. Did you?
I was on the way home. I caught parts of it. I mean, I wasn't watching. I was driving. Obviously, I heard some of the stuff going on, but I wasn't.
I thought this match was actually pretty decent. Mysterios and the Usos have great chemistry. So I think it was what it was. The Usos are new champions, so the Bloodline fully holds the titles now. Anyways, main event. I think we covered everything. We covered WWE Championship, Money in the Bank, Men's, Women's, Raw Women's Championship. Yeah,
there was the announcement for SummerSlam too. What is it? August 21st, 18th?
Yeah, August 21st in Vegas.
In Vegas, they had the actual promo for it. I want to go. I do. I want to go.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to make that one. I'm going on vacation next week.
I definitely want to go to the Impact show in October in Vegas, though.
we'll talk about that in a minute because I actually watched Slammiversary and I was really impressed by Slammiversary.
Yeah, it was a really good
So
show. Really good show.
all right,
So yeah,
main
that's
event:
the final.
Roman Reigns versus Edge. I thought that I think we were talking about this the whole time. Um, the match was slow. It wasn't a. It was a normal Roman's Reigns match. It was a slow paced. It had Roman dominating, making the baby face slash heel tactics that they do. So it's like so I it picked up a little bit, then it died down. I thought Roman looked dominant, and then he sold everything good to Edge once Edge picked up momentum. I really enjoyed the end of the match. Kind of not too much on the shenanigans with Seth Rollins. But I already knew we are kind of already knew that this was happening, and they've been teasing it for past couple of weeks, having a Edge versus Seth Rollins, which picks up from a storyline from ooh, when was this? This that actually happened 2017, 2016, 2017. I forgot exactly when this storyline happened, but it was when Edge was still uncleared to wrestle. Oh wait, it was the Survivor Series after Survivor Series when Team Cena beat the Authority and got them out of power, and they threatened to break Edge's neck to to get him
Well, that's
to
mean.
get the Authority reinstated. So but yeah, it was a great call back to that, and I think them to actually doing the story call back to that story was pretty cool. Show us continuation in the storylines that they're able to use stuff like that. It's the same thing with like just pointing, for example, Malachi Black, how he was able to bring the eye injury that was given by Buddy Murphy. I thought that was a pretty cool way to continuation of story, which is rarely done nowadays with some companies or with some superstars who as they go through other companies. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I I don't know. I thought that the right person won. I mean, for what it
Yeah,
is.
the right person won, but I don't think that the way we got there in the end was not great. I think
Yeah,
the type of match that we had here is great for the Thunderdome because you have microphone right on the guy. Nothing else is going on. There's nothing else that needs to be interacted with. It's just you, camera, your refs, the guy you're fighting. You can take that slow, methodical. And I think this was the biggest problem with Roman's character is when we bring it live, how is it going to work? Because he can yell and talk trash, but if the crowd is doing stuff, it doesn't matter because they can't hear him.
yeah,
They don't know what he's saying.
yeah.
We do
And
at home.
I think this is something that they're going to have to get used to doing in a sense. Now that they're actually out of the Thunderdome and back to doing one-on-one stuff,
Yeah.
well back to live events. I think this is something that they're going to have to get used to doing and get used to actually getting together. So as that
Yeah.
is happening, I thought that was one of the takeaways from the match. They still kind of went Thunderdome style with this, where allowed them to talk mess.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they have
Mm-hmm.
some kind of speaker on there that amplified it, I don't think that happened. But
I don't
um,
think so. And
hold on,
is that you?
I have a I have a last minute guest that wants to join. Hold on.
I'll get my final thoughts report. But yeah, basically just with Roman, this is gonna have to it's gonna grow because they want this to work moving forward. So right guy won. It was too slow throughout until you got to the ending where it just picked up just snap of a finger, it felt like, with all the
Yeah,
other interference spots. And I can't obviously bash that, or else I'd be bashing what I enjoy in AEW because I don't mind that stuff happening. What what I was bothered with was how slow it was up to that point.
to that
Usually,
point. Yeah, because
usually
even
you
with
do have
a
still some build up, and you can get to a point where maybe it looks like Edge is a little closer to winning before something happens. Hey, there he is.
there
What's
he
up? What's
is.
up?
Hey,
No echo,
what'd you?
right? No echo?
You're good. You're good.
No,
What'd you
you're good.
buy us?
I didn't buy y'all anything. I didn't buy
Yeah.
myself anything because the lines were ridiculous.
Well, it is the first show.
Once they opened a box of those John Cena T-shirts, all the kids and their moms.
Oh wow! Did they open them up at the end of the show?
Bro, yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, I would say 20% of the audience is out on the concourse trying to leave. Cena's music hits, they all come running back. Then they start leaving again. Then they start leaving again. Cena grabs the mic and they come running back again.
So how was your experience? How was your experience as a from a live aspect?
So I will say, Liv Morgan needs to go back to NXT or get cut. I will say that. I will say.
Wait.
I will say. I will say I did not think KO and Drew and Shinsuke were gonna be as over as they were. Those were the three pops that really surprised me. Everyone loved the pre-show match. There were a lot of people mad that the pre-show wasn't on the main card. They were, and then the women's match, everyone crapped on at the beginning, but came around to. Is that where y'all started blacking out? Is that what happened?
No, our stuff started blacking out or before the men's Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. All of the Money in the Bank entrances and the segment that I guess it's split, but it looked like it was Riddle talking, which I can only imagine was great. All of that.
Dude, okay, so it's Rick Buggs and Shinsuke warming up in the back, and Riddle comes and he's like, "Dude, Randy loves you, Buggs," and Buggs is like, "Oh, how do you really? Did he tell you that?" And he's like, "No, but he's my bro, so I know." And then he's like, "Can you play Randy's entrance music for me?" And he starts playing it, and they start singing along. And Shinsuke just looks over like he's about to turn heel, and then does the Randy pose. It was the greatest thing ever. I really hope they put it on.
Shinsuke does the
whole Randy pose. Yeah.
Man, I am so mad. That is great. Good. Not necessary viewing, but that would have been.
I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna see. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see this on YouTube. So,
one thing a lot of people were upset at in where I was sitting, because my area was pretty interactive. They were really upset that Big E wasn't involved more in the Money in the Bank match. Like, it seemed like he only had like one or two spots, and then
a couple of spots. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Obviously, you're driving, so I don't think you were watching what we were saying. We talked about the entire Money in the Bank match already, and we got to the end. We were like, "Oh, by the way, Big E won at the end because he did a big ending."
I remember one spot from him.
All I remember is the big ending.
Yeah,
the spear. The spear to the outside that almost killed him.
That was bad, by the way. On Drew, right?
Yeah.
And Morrison is over like Rover. Morrison is so.
We're actually talking about that because we're like the MVP of that match was technically Ricochet and Morrison.
I think Rollins had some very good spots as well.
Yeah, so it was a pretty interesting overall. What was the effect of Cena actually coming out and
dude, this guy, and even before that, like the main event, there were people booing. There was "You can't wrestle." But Roman literally, like, once people started like coming around to it, Roman had that smirk on his face, like, "Yeah, I have y'all in the palm of my hands. Whatever I want you to do, you're gonna do." And then Cena comes out, the world erupts, and
that was the loudest part of the night. I'm taking a guess.
Yes, it was. Where did the broadcast cut off? I can tell you all what happened.
It cut off when he did.
It cut off right after
when he went up to me and said, "You can't see me," basically.
Okay, so yeah, he takes the mic. He's like, "It's good to be back," and he's like, "It's not a one-time thing. It's not a one-week thing. But I'm glad this is the first time I'm back. And I'm glad it's over here."
Did Roman leave the ring right after that?
Roman's just leaning against a rope, just letting him talk crap. And Roman didn't say anything back. Then Cena was like, "Man, when I walked out there, the guy that said if Cena shows up, we cheer instead of we boo or we riot, So they pointed at that guy's sign. They had a good laugh. Roman's just straight face against a rope. And then Cena's like, I'm ready for this run, and that's when Roman walks out, and it ends. I had a feeling someone was coming out because Edge and Seth Rollins cleared the ring, so I had a feeling something was going to happen.
We did as well, and I think we both said right when it happened. Elias and I basically said, "So who's coming out?" And the idea
I had it right. I predicted it.
It's Cena.
I predicted.
Who else would it be?
Did you guys see Becky Lynch trolling
just finish
everybody?
his money though? Dwayne did just finish his movie. It could have been him.
Yeah, it could have.
Drink of the night, by the way, Elias.
It could have been It could have been Goldberg. It could have been Goldberg.
He's raw, bro. We were talking about that as well.
That's another thing people in my section said. Like, now you know Raw is officially the B show. Like, they have no one.
No one. This could be the opportunity that Raw needs to reinvent itself with new people, but they don't. Ooh!
AEW beat Raw in the ratings, by the way. We're trying to throw that out there.
Did you guys?
No,
wait,
they didn't.
No, they didn't. They lost by 200,000, bro.
In the key demographic.
No one cares about the key demo, bro.
Nobody cares about the key demo.
I do.
Also, did you guys know what I'm loving right now? Becky Lynch trolling every city that they go to.
Yes,
y'all get that in the arena too.
Dude.
I don't know if y'all were hearing about that stuff in the arena.
Yeah, so Becky posted an Instagram picture right outside the arena, and then so that's where the We Want Becky chant started. Oh, dude, and God, I feel so. It was pin drop silent for Bobby Lashley, Tamina, and Natalia
When they won. Or
when they came out? For the girls when they came out. For Bobby, it was like a Roman thing. The crowd, he had it in the palm of his hand. Once he did the 3 Dominators, the crowd started going crazy.
I think once he won, they were just like the video footage we could see was just everyone just shocked, like, holy crap, this guy, who's gonna beat this guy? Like from
it was a squash match basically.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it felt like, God, it felt bad. Like you couldn't. It wasn't even one of those ones where you just like, oh man, this was supposed to happen. Like we knew it was supposed to happen, but you're still like me and Angel are on watching it on Discord, and we're like, gee whiz, like the crowd reaction is always the same. We're just like literally like, wow, this was bad.
And yeah, you know, it's not even that the crazy part that I feel bad about is like I don't think Bobby deserves that reaction because yeah, he's a dominating person. Like his character is that almighty thing that they have going on. He deserves to be winning like this all the time. But like still it's still surprising to see. He's
gonna get over when Goldberg comes back and people are gonna be like, please beat the hell out of this old man. That's what I think.
I wonder if the crowd's gonna do that because we're surprised by the crowd tonight. Some of the reactions that were going on, for example, you're talking about the women's match. Who got the biggest reactions? It felt like was Alexa Bliss. Who positive reactions, not negative.
Yeah. Honestly, it was her, Naomi, and I sent y'all one more girl that got like very positive reactions. Her, Naomi,
Nikki,
yeah. When she won at the end, the crowd I did not expect that because I thought they'd be like, "Oh my god, this is a stupid gimmick," but
well, that's for us to feel that way. The real fans, Moise, they don't feel that way.
Dude, that's what I was like, what is happening? Because me and Elias talked about last week. I'm like, there's no way Nikki's gonna win this thing. Like I was like, there's no way Nikki's gonna win, and there's no way Liv Morgan is gonna win. And
I was about to say my money would have been on Liv just for the shits and
I know, and my money. So here's the funny thing about it. We talked about this on the show on Thursday. I was like, I think Selena was gonna win, but I thought Selena was gonna win, but then Liv had the build up.
Liv had the build up.
Had the build up, so it's just like now it's just like, well, damn, like
See, so I
Although,
thought Liv was going to get taken out by Sonya. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought Liv was going to get taken out by Sonya, and Sonya
Liv.
would come in.
Or Liv.
But
I like Liv.
yeah, I don't know. They need to do something on Raw tomorrow because right now Raw doesn't even feel like the B show. It feels like the C show compared to SmackDown.
I haven't watched Raw, Moise, in a good month and a half.
Have you been watching the Arcade Bro stuff like online? Have you been keeping up with it?
Arcade Bros. I mean, I've been watching like someone reviews this, but I've been here at the Wrestling Heat. But the Arcade Bro stuff is interesting to me, just because I think Riddle's freaking hilarious.
That and Morrison and Ricochet is the only thing you need to be watching. Yeah.
Has there been a reason? Does anyone know what's going on with Randy? By the way,
no, I don't
actually know.
What I think it is I think they wanted to keep him off the last couple of weeks from Thunderdome, and it's going to be like a surprise return at Raw. Because Raw, I think the only surprise they have is Goldberg.
Probably Becky because of the.
I think Becky's going to SmackDown because Seth is there.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I could see the Fiend coming back too.
But SmackDown champ is Bianca.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love to see that match though. Okay. Who else is gonna challenge her? Like, who else are you gonna put against Bianca? That's a high caliber. Sasha already lost.
Dude, I would love Sonya to come back and be like, all right, Bianca, you're getting a little too cocky. Let me put you in place.
I guess.
But
yeah.
I really wish Bianca was in front of the audience because when her picture came up before the show started, it was just like that Houston reaction. The crowd went wild. She was on like the not poster, but like the promotional DraftKings stuff for it. So every time a picture would come up during the pre-show or like the cutoffs, dude, she was over. Like she was very over.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
that is good to hear.
Here's a key question. Did y'all think that keeping Cena off TV this long, he was going to get the same reaction that he got? Because it got to the point where people were hating John Cena for a while, and then he left and came back. Every time he's come back, it's been that key point for them.
I wonder how much of it is people are so thankful for what he did for Bray Wyatt with that other. He left with such a positive reaction because of what he did with that match. By the way, that will not be explained, that he's supposed to be in some alternate dimension, by the way. Did we all forget this? I did until just now. So he's not even supposed to be there, by the way. He's locked in the oh, you know what? Alexa opened it up. That's why.
No, bro. Did you not watch Fast 9? He got in the car and drove away from the family picnic, and then he showed up to WWE.
Family.
All right. So the last thing I'm gonna say, because I just got home, so I got to shower and get to bed before work. Do y'all have any more questions like about the live audience?
I mean, you said pretty much who all was the most over. I think it sounded like you said Cena definitely had the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah. Dude, honestly,
I guess
I think it was Cena, KO, and Morrison, and Kofi.
Well, what about the Edge pop? Because Edge, when I thought that Edge and Cena's
it was
pop were on the same level.
It was 250-50 with the Roman stuff.
For like the intro, like the pop for the intro.
I think what he's saying is there was a lot of people that do still like Roman, so they weren't cheering for Edge.
Dude, there was a lot of head of the table T-shirts. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still supposed to boo the guy.
Yeah, but kids don't know that, you know?
Oh, he walked past this one kid at the entrance, by the way. Elias, I don't know if you were watching the entrance. He walked past this one kid. This kid's like, Roman! And he just walked right past this kid. And the kid's like, just starts crying. I felt so bad.
I didn't see that. I need to rewind and see that.
We saw a couple of kids cry when Cena returned, too. Like, there were some kids that were like, oh, yay, John Cena, Bumblebee.
I know that your phone was recording the opposite way, but it's okay. You could have recorded yourself crying as well.
Dude, I marked out. No, I didn't mark out, but I expected it because I follow wrestling news.
Mhm.
Like there was a spoiler report that John Cena was in the arena, and I was like, oh, he's gonna come out. Either that or Becky's gonna get speared by Roman, and that's gonna set up the Seth Rollins face turn. So I was like, okay.
Seth Rollins.
Also, I will say, there's an Applebee's commercial with Baron Corbin in it.
Oh
Baron
yeah, we
Corbin,
saw it.
Baron Corbin in 5 months will be the biggest face on SmackDown. Write it down.
I can take that bet. Poor Baron Corbin.
Poor Baron Corbin. Did you see they trademarked Happy Corbin?
Yeah, they did.
I didn't see that. This
And so
company's weird, bro.
And
How
then
they get to
the
there.
thing, his finisher right now is called the End of Days. They're gonna change it to the Happy Ending, and then
Happy ending.
yeah,
Happy
Bro.
Days is a good option.
bro, just
It might be
wait.
trademarked already,
It's
though.
gonna happen. I say by what month are we? We're in July, August, September, October, November, December. By the new year, Baron Corbin will be a very, very, very over face on SmackDown, right behind Big E if Big E stayed on SmackDown.
We were speculating he's going to Raw, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's what
we're
I think
actually
too.
speculating. We were speculating that because we were talking about the Bobby Lashley stuff, and we're like, well, what's going to happen now? Because and we kind of fantasy booked it where Big E goes to Raw and tries to get vengeance
Sticks up for
for
his boy.
yeah, and then instead of cashing it into actual trying to take advantage of the moment, that he was going to actually challenge Bobby Lashley to a match.
So here's how I booked it if it's the other way around. John Cena and Roman Reigns have a hell of a match, and he cashes in on Roman. John Cena gives him the pat on the back and leaves, just like the whole weight room thing that when he broke John Cena's record. John Cena gives him the pat on the back and leaves.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think that this is one of those ones where
You think he's going to cash in on
John-
Roman?
I don't.
We were saying I was saying I don't think so, only because that's a lame way for either one. Big E would have to lose because that's a lame way for Roman to lose the title.
Yeah,
Roman losing the title needs to be a huge deal.
Well, what if Roman and Cena go like 30 minutes, and then to end SummerSlam, Big E cashes in?
It has to be a huge deal. It can't be random cash in while he's weak. It needs to be
because it will be
Roman.
because it will be kind of one of the. It will go back to that WrestleMania in 2014 where Roman lost to where Seth Rollins won the title. It'll kind of bring that memory back if it happens that way. So, knowing Big E, I don't think he's gonna try to, unless Big E says F it and takes the heel route. I think Big E's gonna try to actually cash it in for an actual match.
Okay, I can see that too.
I think someone was saying, yeah, I could see him doing that. It's like a triple threat. We know you got to go. I guess I have one last question. I don't know if you have something else after this, Elias, but match of the night for you, Moise.
Oh, for me, the moment of the night was definitely Cena return. Obviously, dude, match of the night was honestly the pre-show match for me. Dude, I'm telling you, if y'all didn't watch it,
I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched it, but I honestly, I think our match of the night, I think we kind of agreed on it, was the Raw Women's Championship match.
I think
that's a very good match as well. I'd give you that.
Purely, not just because of how much they turned it around, but the match itself. If you took off the crowd from saying we want Becky, I think they did like 4 or 5 times to try to take it over. The way that they were able to turn that match around, and even just without that, it was probably the best match. They were hitting hard. I don't know if they had zoom ins on for you. They were legit sticking it into each other. There.
So the thing that impressed me with the pre-show match was I've never seen a pre-show match aside from when they did the Wyatt family and Usos, where the pre-show crowd is yelling, "This is awesome." So
yeah,
that was the one thing that really popped me.
No, I really thought that match
never
was
seen a pre-show match.
Yeah, no. Usually the pre-show matches are just like up and done. This one actually was a main pay-per-view. Like this should have been on the. I agree with that. This should have been on the.
Elias, are we recording tomorrow?
I thought Tuesday.
4.
I want to do Slammiversary. I don't want to compete against Game 6.
We can do it tomorrow.
Anniversary.
Slammiversary was a great show. You missed out, Angel, if you haven't watched it.
No, he watched it. I think
I watched parts of it. I definitely watched the Omega stuff, and I saw the surprising ending.
that
It's
pissed me
24
off.
hours. It's not a spoiler anymore. So you can tell us.
Yeah, I saw Jay White. What a fucking deal.
I marked out, like I was on hangs with Stefan, and as soon as it happened, I was like, Stefan, Bullet Club.
Well, I want to ask Angel one question, though. Angel, quick question.
Yes, we're going to Vegas in October.
Huh?
I said, yes, we're going to Vegas in October. Is that what you're going to ask?
No, so I have a bachelor party the week before in Vegas, so I'm screwed.
Just stay.
Does this interest you in Bound for Glory?
I legit.
That's the reason he's going.
I texted my buddies, let's go to Vegas in October. They don't know why yet. I'm just gonna buy tickets and just show up. I want.
Are you gonna watch Impact the next 4 weeks?
I will be watching Impact. This people have been asking, what does this do for Impact for what, a month and 2 months now? This is it.
Yeah, every time Elias would say it, I'm like, Elias, just wait there to pay off. No, man, it's taking too long. Elias, just wait there to pay off. No, man, it's taking too long. They're making Impact look like crap. I'm like, dude, just wait there to pay off.
I never felt that way. I did see a couple of my fraternity brothers who watch wrestling. They were talking trash about it because they were like, "Oh, Omega has won this title, blah 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 blah." Like, something's gonna happen, and we're all gonna get interested in Impact, and we're all gonna want to see it.
The only thing Impact has to do now, and I will leave after I say this because Elias will get your thoughts tomorrow when we go live on it. They need to get the hell off of Anthem, and they need to go get a TV deal now.
I think that's the reason why Impact has been kind of meh, because you really can't watch it like you're supposed to. Like, if it was on another network, it was kind of. Is it still on Twitch?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's still on Twitch. That's how I said to see it. Well, cool. We had a surprise guest for the last 20, 30 minutes there. Live reports, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you gonna join us tomorrow?
For the Slammiversary talk?
Recap. Yeah, I
can probably watch it. I do have a lot of work stuff to do. I'll be done at 6.
We won't go live till about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And I should be fine. I'll see if I have time to watch majority of it.
All right.
I should
either
be
way.
free.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this Money in the Bank after show. We will be back tomorrow night with Slammiversary coverage. Man, this weekend was full of wrestling. It was worth it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's not also forget that we have Fighter Night 2, NXT, and Raw tomorrow with
I will
light
be
crowds.
at Fighter Fest, by the way. I will be there
Tomorrow? I mean Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Or Wednesday. Isn't that Austin?
It's in Dallas.
In Dallas. Oh.
The past one was in
Are
Austin.
you going to AEW when they come to Houston?
I still have my third row tickets from when they first sold it in 2019 before the pandemic shut down.
All right, I might actually buy a ticket and go with you. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be back on Thursday talking this next week's coverage in wrestling. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, from everybody here in Weekly Wrestling Heat, we are out. Peace.
See ya.